Hi, today I'm going to show you how to knit this seamless halter summer top. Let's get started. Please check my description box for written pattern and any other details such as yarn, needle sizes. This is for myself. I'm 5 feet and 100 pounds. I usually wear size small. And if you want to knit the different sizes, don't worry about it. This is completely adjustable. So you can knit much smaller or much bigger size. And beauty of this top, you don't have to sew. It's complete seamless. And I really love this yarn. It was nice and soft. This is the one I used. Cast on multiple of 6. I made 144. This time I would like to have bigger neck opening. This is kind of important, so maybe you should watch whole video first and then make a plan. Maybe you want to make smaller neck opening or not. After cast on, you will connect both ends. I'm actually using longer cable, so I'm using magic loop technique. If you never done the magic loop technique, I'll put the link so you can watch that video as well. Anyway, rib should be repeat of knit 1 and purl 1 until your desired length. I made about 2 inch. From the second row, easy, knit over knit stitch and purl over purl stitch. My neck rib has done, again, about 2 inches long. Now we have to find the magic number. Magic number is whole stitch divided by 6. That's the magic number. My whole stitch is 144. So 144 divided by 6 is 24. My magic number is 24. From the begin marker, you take magic number times 2, then put the marker. For me, 24 times 2, 48 stitch. That's for my back piece. And second to third marker, magic number times 1. So I have 24 stitch. That's for shoulder. And the other side, shoulder, same stitch number, magic number times 1. Then left over, that's gonna be my front piece. Magic number times 2 is 48. This is just your base, which means you can adjust the numbers. I put this on and thought about it, and I want to adjust little number, and I did. So, and here comes. There you go. I put it on, and I look at the mark, and I thought, maybe I want kind of bigger area to start, and it will increase gradually towards to your armpit, right? So I decide I'm gonna move markers a little bit and have the wider, the front piece and back piece. Again, this is completely up to you. I decide I'm gonna make a little bit wider for front and back piece. I'm going to move 8 stitches wider for back and front. So I can't move my first begin marker, so I'm gonna move up the orange marker. 8 stitches total for front and back, bigger, which means the shoulder part, it's gonna be smaller. So my shoulder is 24, so 24 minus 8 is 16. And the front and back is 48, which is magic number times 2 plus 8. So each side, the front and back, 56 stitch each. All right? So that's my plan. Yours, I don't know, you can actually make it skinnier, you know, if that's what you want. So let's see the bigger picture. From the begin marker to first marker and the other side, that's the shoulder. And that top part, the bigger section, and down there is front and back. And as you can see, there's a green markers, 2 of them. And in between green markers, 18 stitches. And I'm gonna put the cable knitting there. So if you want to add the cable knitting, find the middle, then add the markers. So this is the setup row. The shoulder part, you have to bind off. And I am going to bind off, knit and purl, bind off. So I make purl, then 1 stitch bind off. Then next stitch should be knit, so knit, bind off. And I gotta tell you one thing. You have to be very careful, which is last stitch. So meet you right there. Here comes close to the end of the shoulder. There you go, knit, bind off, and purl. Looks like this is the last stitch, but the real last stitch is, okay, 1 on the right side. That stitch you have to bind off. So once you hit the marker, remove the marker, then knit or purl, whatever, then 1 bind off. All right, this is important. And now I did 16 stitch bind off. The one on the right needle right now, that's including the back piece. And back piece, you just have to knit all the way down to the next marker. All right, there you go. And you don't have to, knit 1 more stitch or anything. It's only for the bind off. So knit until you hit the marker. Okay, that's it. And remove the marker. Then here comes the other side of the shoulder. You have to bind off. So knit and purl, then 1 stitch bind off. And remember how you finish it at the next marker, same thing. Okay, remove, then 1 last stitch you have to bind off. Here comes, there you go, and purl, then bind off. This is not the end of the bind off. The one more stitch on your right needle. There you go. And knit the first for the the front piece. There you go. Then this is the front piece. So I want you to make purl around that green marker. So knit all the way down 2 stitch before the marker. There you go. 2 stitch before the marker. You stop, then make purl 2 stitches. You will see. And right here, 2 purl. Okay, then knit till next marker. Here it comes. Slide the marker, then purl 2. After purl 2, rest of them are all knit. And for the back piece, you don't need to make any purl. So I just want to make sure. For the shoulder part, you have to bind off. For me, 16 stitch I bind off. Right there, and the other side as well. And front piece, all knit except around the markers. For the back, just, all knit. And I'm going to use another ball of yarn. All right, and I'm going to show you front piece first, because if you understand front piece, you can actually knit the back piece. So front piece with the green marker, so easy to remember. And the ball of yarn, the new one, just leave it there because I already have the yarn attached for the front piece. This is a little bit tricky. 2 different patterns. One is increasing row, which is right side and left side. And the other pattern is for design in the middle, cable design. Okay, but the row number 1 is all same. Knit over knit stitch, purl over purl stitch. Right? So all purl for purl stitch. And this is wrong side. So before the marker, 2 stitch before the marker and 2 stitch after the marker, you have to make knit. Well, I don't really have to tell you because you just have to see which stitch, you're looking at, right? So knit over knit, purl over purl stitch. After you knit wrong side, you turn the work and you're still working on the front piece and increasing row number 2, which is right side. Okay, I'm just telling you, don't forget about that, the 2 stitch before and after. Anyway, increasing row number 2. Right side, you have to make 1 right to increase. Knit 1, then right after knit 1, you make 1 right. Okay, so you pick up the running thread like that and hook onto left needle, make a V shape out front. There we go. And then knit that stitch. This is make 1 right. And after that, knit over knit stitch, purl over purl stitch until you hit the design marker, which is green for me. There we go. And then I will talk about the design pattern. Here comes. Okay, the before 2 stitch before the marker, you have to make 2 purl, then design row number 2 right side, easy. Knit over knit stitch, purl over purl stitch, easy, straightforward. And then after this, I will talk about make one left at the very end of the right side to increase. Okay, so until last 1 stitch, you have to do knit over knit and purl over purl, and then now you have to increase, pick up the thread, and then hook onto the left needle. The V shape is at the back now. Then the back of the loop you have to use to knit. It's right there, like that. Then knit 1 there. This is make 1 left. Then knit 1 last stitch. Turn around. You have to knit flat. So for the increasing, the pattern, you just repeat 1 and 2 until it hits the armpit. And for the design pattern, you have to follow my written pattern, and I will meet you at the row number 6. Here comes design row number 6, right side. I just made the make 1 right there and knit over knit, purl over purl. This is the purl 2. Then design pattern. Okay, 18 stitch right there. So first 12 stitch you have to make C12B, which is cable 12 back. With the cable needle, pick 6 stitch and put this cable needle at the back. Then knit 6 from left needle first. I am showing you C12B. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Then come back to cable needle. Cable needle is at the back. Then knit 6 from the cable needle. This is cable 12 back. After the knitting 6 from the cable needle, there's only 6 stitch left, and you knit those 6 stitch. And after the design pattern, you just have to watch knit stitch or purl stitch, and don't forget to increase 1 stitch at the end, which is make 1 left. So for the front piece, you have to think 2 different pattern. One is the increasing on right side, right and left, and the other one is the design. And design, the pattern is easy, pretty much knit over knit and purl over purl, except the row number 6 and 14. And here is row number 14. It's so easy. Knit 6, then C12F, which is cable 12 front. You probably know what's going on now. With the cable needle, pick 6 stitch, and this time you put out front because cable 12F front. Then knit 6. After you knit, the 6, there's no more stitch, and there are only stitches on the cable needle. So come back to cable needle and knit stitch from the cable needle. This is the cable 12 front. And then this design complete on row number 16. And you have to repeat design row number 1 to row number 16 until your desired length. Even past the armpit thing, you have to, keep knitting following the design pattern. There you go. 2 purl, and then rest of them are all knit except one last stitch. You have to make one left there to increase. Again, I already told you for the design pattern, you have to, repeat row number 1 to row number 16. And I just finished the row number 16. And gradually increasing for both, the side. And you can actually knit back piece at the same time as well. But, I kind of waited till, row 32. Then, this is it looks like. Okay. Now I want to show you how to start back piece. And back piece, you have to start with wrong side. Because for the front piece, I started with the wrong side as well. So that's about it. And rest of them are pretty much same except the design. I'm not gonna add design cable. So, it's even more easier. You just prepare other ball of yarn and then just, start knitting with other, ball of yarn. So again, this is wrong side, so pretty much purl. So just purl straight down. This is the increase in row number 1. The increasing is always on the right side. So right now you don't have to worry about any increasing because it's wrong side. And one more thing I have to tell you, whenever you're knitting either side, front piece or back piece, you have to count how many rows you're knitting because you have to balance it out, front and back. Okay, so now right side. So knit 1 first, then, oops, there you go. Make 1 right. V shape out front, that's for make 1 right. Then knit 1 there. I just increase 1 on the right side. And then knit all the way down till one last stitch, then you make 1 left. And I am going to show you. And there is 2 stitch like there, but it's actually 1 because I knit end of the yarn as well. So looks like a 2 stitch, but it's actually 1 stitch. So you got to be very careful if you knit up, with end of yarn. Anyway, make one left, grab the running thread and hook onto the left needle different way. There you go, V shape at the back, and then back of the loop, you have to knit. There you go, back of the loop. Just take your time. And this is the increase in row number 1. Again, same as the other side. Increasing pattern is only 2 rows. Repeat of row 1 and row 2 until you hit the armpit. But again, you have to count and you have to knit same row as the other side because you ended up going to connect both sides to create the sleeve opening. So if the other side is longer than the other side, that's gotta be crazy, right? So if this is yours, you put it on, make sure. There you go. If you wanna, knit kind of bigger chest area and tummy area, you can knit more, but I kind of want to make it kind of skinnier, so I'm gonna stop right there. So now you have to connect both right and back piece, and if you connect, you have to be on the right side, and the back piece of the yarn you can cut it because now you will reconnect, so you need only one ball of yarn to knit around. Okay, so you just start knitting, and if it's front piece, the design pattern you just follow the whichever your the row, and just straight down, and I meet you at the end of the front piece. Now you connect front and back, and by the way, no more increasing when you connect. And I am going to add one cast to connect. You don't have to add anything, or you can add many casts you want. If you want to get bigger around the tummy area, you can add 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, even 10, 20, but it's going to be huge. So for me, I want to kind of, the skinny shape. So I'm going to add only one. So it's really up to you. You don't have to add anything. 1, 2, again, 10, 20. It's really up to you. And you know what? I add 8 stitch first. This is how you add, by the way. And I didn't really like it. It was too big. So I restart. Anyway, there you go. And connect to back piece. No more 2 ball of yarn, only 1 to connect. And I'm actually knitting on back piece, so meet you at the other side, and you just do the same thing. So you have to remember how many new cast you add. I add only 1 new cast, so I am going to add 1 new cast for the other side to connect both, the back and front. It's easy. And after this, it's so easy. You just have to knit. That's it. And follow the design pattern. That's about it. So this is almost end. Again, I'm going to add one cast with your digital finger and just going like that. That's it. And again, this is going to be new begin. If you add 4 or 6 in the middle of the new cast should be new begin marker. Anyway, again, you just keep knitting, and the for the design, just follow the design pattern. And I knit until about my waist, and I decide I'm going to spread at the back. And this is totally option. Well, I want to, the spread at the very back of my sweater. So I have to find the mid stitch at the very back, right? That's the front. So you have to count from that, mid, front, then find the mid stitch. Then again, 2 stitch before and after. Okay, I want to use knit stitch, garter stitch. So after this, I have to knit back and forth in flat, not around, because it's a spread, right? So around that area, 2 stitch before and after, always knit garter stitch, and everything else, right side all knit, wrong side all purl, except that the design. There you go, and turn around. Now you have to knit in flat again. Last stitch I made knit 2 for garter stitch. So the even though wrong side, first stitch it's gonna be knit stitch. There you go. Wrong side, but first 2 knit 2, and last 2 again knit. Okay, knit 2, garter stitch, and then purl. Pretty much that's it. You don't really need to if you don't want to, but it's curled up if you don't use the garter technique at the spread area. There you go. I actually put the marker back again because it's maybe easier for you to understand. There you go. Knit 2. There you go. Then now you have to turn around, right? So again, last 2 and first 2, always knit stitch on right or wrong side, and everything else you just follow my written instruction. That's about it. And once you hit the your desired length, you add hem rib, okay, which is repeat of knit 1 and purl 1, except that garter stitch. Okay, garter stitch area has to be garter stitch all the time, and after that, just rib pattern, repeat of knit 1 and purl 1. That's about it. And for your rib, just you just keep knitting until your desired length, and once you hit the desired length, you cast off. That's about it. Very simple halter tank top. Simple, very simple. The key for success to knit this, the summer top is you have to make a plan ahead. Do you really want to have the smaller neck opening to start and then, skinnier, the front piece and back piece to start and then gradually increase and, you want to get bigger tummy area or smaller, skinny looking, stuff like that. You really have to make a plan ahead. This was so easy and it's seamless, which is a lot easier. I guess I hit the desired length for my rib, then I cast off. My cast off technique is knit one and purl one cast off, which looks more better. I mean, if you use the only knitting cast off, it's a little bit different. Okay, so that's about it. Enjoy knitting.